As you head out the door this morning, you know that one of the worst traffic spots in Albuquerque is the big intersection at Paseo del Norte and I-25.
And you know, the city is getting ready to redo that starting this summer. And tonight, you can tell the city how you think this new interchange should look. News 13's David Romero is live at Paseo and I-25. So David, what's going on here?
Well, Matt, it's not only the look of the $93 million project that many are excited about, but alleviating some of the traffic headaches that happen here on almost a daily basis in the mornings and afternoons. Now, all the proposed plans for the project include flyovers to eliminate traffic backups between 7 and 9 in the morning and afternoon troubles between 4:30 and 6. Then there will also be work further down the road near Jefferson and Paseo. Now, cars aren't the only ones getting a helping hand here. Bicycle and pedestrian walkways will be worked on as well. Voters in Bernalillo County approved bond funding for the project back in November. Despite having to put up with a ton of construction over the next couple of years, many drivers say it will be worth it.
Lately, it has just gotten so bad that you need an hour commute time to get to work and an hour commute time to get home.
Hopefully they can get a lot of that work done without any major disruption of traffic because it's not taking up the current roadway.
And as Mayor Berry also said, the faster they get started, the faster they get done. Now, this tonight's meeting is going to be the first step in the process in approving the plans. Once that happens, then the next step is getting the actual builders on board. That's going to be sometime in midsummer. Then by September, it's going to start. The project is going to start, and it should be completed by July 2015. So a little traffic headaches in the meantime, but a good result in the end. Matt, back to you.
I guess it's what we call progress. Thank you, David. Again, the meeting is going to be from 6:30 to 8 tonight at the Courtyard Marriott. It's on Journal Center right there near Paseo and I-25. Elizabeth.
Officials with the Department of Justice speak to Albuquerque residents for the first time since they announced their investigation of the police department. It was a full house at last night's public meeting. Many spoke out about everything from bad cop behavior to police brutality.
If they can do what they say they're going to do, you know what I mean? I don't want no money. I don't want a dime. I don't want nothing. I just want justice.
There were also a lot of people at the meeting who had loved ones killed by police, while others just wanted to know what was going on. The feds started their investigation of APD after a wave of police shootings and other negative actions by officers.
Well, cracking down on people who drink and drive over and over again. That is what one bill up in the Roundhouse wants to do. State Senator George Munoz has introduced this bill where people have convicted of DWI 5 times will lose their license for life. Right now, the law says you lose your license indefinitely after your 4th DWI, but you can get it back as early as 5 years. Another bill to stop repeat drunk drivers would let police confiscate cars of anyone convicted of DWI who are caught driving on a suspended or revoked license. Now, this is a plan from Representative Jason Harper, a Republican from Rio Rancho.
These people have shown that they take for granted this privilege to drive. And we can take that vehicle away, sell it, and also treat people by taking that money and putting it into treatment programs.
Now, another bill that would have sent repeat drunk drivers to prison longer got rejected in the Roundhouse earlier this year.
The U.S. Marshals are hoping you can help them find 4 violent fugitives. The men are wanted for a number of crimes, including dealing drugs and raping children. Take a look at these mugshots here. Woodrow Caldwell has been on the run for the last 3 years, accused of raping 2 young girls and getting one of them pregnant. Marshals are also looking for 2 convicted rapists that haven't registered as sex offenders. Richard Aragon is wanted in Valencia County and Anthony David Sanchez in Sandoval County. Also, the Drug Enforcement Agency wants to find Omar Luis Cota, saying he is armed and dangerous and has ties to the Mexican drug cartel. Today, the city of Albuquerque will start mailing out ballots for the special election. That's right, there is a special election happening, and this one is going to be expensive, costing the city $600 million.
It is a lot of money, and it certainly sounds like a lot of money, but again, it is less expensive than having an in-person election.
So the money will come out of a reserve fund. According to Dan Lewis, the city charter states that the money has to come from somewhere that taxpayers will have to pay for. Now, in this special election, voters will decide on a new rule having to do with Albuquerque mayoral races. If no one gets more than 50% of the vote, there would be a runoff election. That's the issue that voters will decide. The Vatican is on a fast track to find a successor for Pope Benedict XVI. In a shocking announcement yesterday, the pontiff said he would be resigning at the end of this month. He says it's because of health reasons. This is the first time a pope has stepped down in 600 years. A conclave of cardinals will choose the new pontiff without having to first go through a traditional 9 days of mourning that would follow a pope's death. And Catholics around the world are still reacting to the Pope's resignation. News 13 spoke to some of New Mexico's Catholics about how they felt about the news. While many of them were surprised by the news, they tell us, most of them seemed supportive. Father Rafael Garcia spoke to his congregation yesterday about the religious leader's decision.
The Pope is a human being also, and often I think in the Catholic Church we think that just because you're a bishop or a pope or even a priest, that somehow you're above humanity.
Now, we still don't know who will take Pope Benedict's place, but it's likely his replacement will deal with a lot of serious issues facing the church.
Your kids' bus stops and adult-oriented businesses, that is what Bernalillo County Commissioners are set to talk about tonight. They're meeting with the state's Department of Transportation to talk about making bus stops safer for kids, and they're talking about making it easier to make sure the people who run these adult businesses do not have criminal records. Commissioners hope that'll cut down on crime.
Former New Mexico Governor Gary Johnson will be online today to answer questions on Reddit.com. The event is called Ask Me Anything, and it begins this afternoon at 3. Now, there is no limit on what you can ask our former governor, so today is your chance to ask him anything you want.
And at the Roundhouse, Democrats will keep talking about your kids' education today. They want to send millions of dollars from land grants to early education programs and would need a constitutional amendment to do that. Plus, they want schools to get a heads up about kids who are struggling, so it's harder for teachers to pass them on to the next grade if they should be held back for 2 years in a row. And they still want parents to have the right to veto a school's decision to hold kids back. That is something the governor wants to get rid of.